All right. I think we're live. Hopefully this doesn't look terrible. We were just messing with all of our video and audio settings moments ago.
Yeah.
Seconds ago, literally.
I've learned a lot about the new studio and not the physical space, but the Wirecast. And I learned what was crashing our cameras and how to avoid it, hopefully in the future. And not content with that, we decided to, because I've got to the point where I really like how we look in a preview. Is pretty good. But when it goes to YouTube, it gets thrown through a dog shit filter, and we look encoded and terrible. So I'd like to close that gap and get us looking better as we go. So, but we're also the other thing is we might want to try running this 1 week on the other machine, because I noticed when we were up in the quality that we're also really bumping against the CPU of this recording station.
Yeah, our other machine's got a much better CPU.
Anyway, I was going to lead with the Burrito Mito coverage and discussion, but we got a bombshell delivered to us at the studio and a corresponding forum post from Double Aaron, who pledged. I didn't remember this, but way back during the Save Bald Move campaign, he said if we raised the money that he would get a tattoo of us. And he is a man of his word. Do you want to flip? I can flip to the show and tell.
Yeah.
Feast your eyes on the live feed here.
Holy shit.
I think this is his tricep area.
He said his leg.
Oh, it's his leg?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's...
Maybe it's a knee. Could that be a knee?
It's not. It can't be a knee.
Yeah, it's a shaved knee.
Is it a thigh?
Maybe it's a calf.
Is it his upper thigh?
It's somewhere on the leg.
I'm trying to think of, like, it's so close up that I can't quite tell what joint it is. Yeah, because it looks to me like he's sitting with his leg dangling off like a bench.
Yeah,
and you can see the floor, which I would think that would be the top. You'd have like a thigh tattoo.
Seems like it, but wherever it is, holy shit, man.
Yeah, and like so, he posted this last night, and this morning we got this photo here to take us off of the show and tell. When we're like, wow, this is really fucking rad.
Yeah, we were like, oh man, cool picture.
But there was no like explanation for it. And then we got into forums and like, holy shit, someone got that tattooed on their body. That's sweet.
Yeah. There's a thread called I said I would do it, or I promised I would do it.
I promised I'd do it, yeah.
On the forums, so if you want to get in there and tell them how awesome it is.
It's pretty cool.
I'm really impressed with the art. Like,
yeah, the guy, if you want to switch back to show and tell, because we're going to go right into the Mito after this.
He's got a gallery of like all the preliminary sketches and stuff they did, an imager gallery.
Yeah.
And it transformed from like, he sent the tattoo artist an image of us just like from lunch or whatever. And he kind of went with like a realistic version first. And the guy didn't like it, so he wanted something a little more stylized, and a couple iterations.
I like how he's got I'm just noticing new stuff. Like I think he like my hoodie, the rolls like of the inside of the hoodie, how it lines up, and the microphones, and
they're the right color.
You got a screwdriver sticking out of your head and flies coming off of you, and half of your glasses are knocked off. It's
pretty gnarly.
I'm missing some teeth too. I got all my chompers. Yeah. One of them's blue.
One of them's blue. Yeah, that one's not doing too good.
That can't be good. And I got the milky white eye. From the Legion podcast. Presume no, that can't be. That's just me having a milky white zombie eye. Super cool.
Yeah, incredible.
This is a first for me. I've never been on anyone's flesh. Not in that way before. Never been drawn on anyone's flesh, permanently inscribed in someone's flesh. And I feel like this is a real dick move if you're trying not to have us quit The Walking Dead, because how can we stop The Walking Dead? Yeah, like if you said, hey, we're not going to do season 8, like this guy's whole tattoo's busted.
Right.
You know, it's like Jim and Aaron, they don't do zombie stuff. What are you talking about?
We got to keep going until The Walking Dead is over, I guess.
Yeah.
So
the last dead shambles off. Falls apart from being left out in the sun.
Because then we can just blame it on AMC, right? We
can
say,
as always, we can blame things on AMC.
Yep.
Shall we do the Burrito Mito?
Okay.
I think it's you want to go from.
Oh, you have some.
Gotcha. some Instagrams up here from the thing. Oh no, this is.
Nope. Okay, you take control of this.
Okay.
You know what's going on here.
Right to left. It's Chinese kanji style. Japanese kanji.
This was not our wording.
What do you mean?
Like, we didn't design this thing.
I fully support it.
I mean, I agree. Yeah, but
so we got there, and
I'm not arrogant enough to throw that up there.
You pretty much set this up all. I mean, it's your burrito party. You told me where to be, and I showed up there. I thought it was really cool. They reserved us a table, and it says if you're listening to the podcast, it says reserved because you're not as awesome as Bald Move, written in chalk, and I thought that was pretty sweet. We had 20 burritos.
Yeah.
All but one was gone at the end of the fest.
Yep, everybody who wanted one got one.
I estimate the crowd size, and I'm gonna switch that as 3 million, and it was the most ever at 16 bits. They said so.
They did. Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
But
call the fire department. Find out.
But yeah, we had at the peak there was about 25 people there. There was also a good supply. Like, I didn't eat a burrito, but I had to, because I had a late breakfast. I had guacamole instead.
Yeah, and chips. I didn't know there were going to be chips there.
Yeah, and
they just, I don't know. I went into Chipotle. I grabbed the big box and I ran out. When I got over there, I discovered, oh shit!
And it wasn't a bar. They just pre-made burritos. I was thinking it would be the last time I had something like this. It was set up as a bar. Yeah, you kind of made your own. But I
did all chicken burritos except for 2 sofritas, in case there were vegetarians who weren't interested in chicken.
Gotcha. Was one sofritas left? Was that
one sofritas was left? Yeah. Yeah.
No one likes sofritas. I like sofritas. I had to stop eating them because they're too damn spicy.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But I think they are surprisingly meat-like. But there's Jim holding court at the. Were you challenged to? No one challenged me to a video game. I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I was challenged to one video game. Actually 2. I played. Me and a guy, I forget. There were a lot of Chris's there, and there were a lot of people who started with a K. And I met so many people that I don't remember much of their names. Sorry, but me and a lovely gentleman played some Street Fighter 2. I beat him in that, only barely though. He had some moves. Also, the controllers were a little busted.
Oh really? That sucks.
But then we played some Marvel vs. Capcom. And he kicked my ass in that. I tried to cheese him, but it didn't work.
Who's your? Because I usually go Wolverine, Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I find they're the easiest.
The Wolverine thing going.
The spam fight. That someone has to know what they're doing to get away from it.
Yeah, I think I ended up playing. I definitely played Ryu. And then I think I also played like Chun-Li or something. Ryu or maybe Ryu and Ken.
You were solidly representing the Capcom.
Right. Because I wanted to play what I knew. And then I had weird moves anyway, and I didn't know how to use them. So.
Right.
But yeah, he was also pretty good at it. So he beat me.
All right.
So we're 1-1. Next burrito meetup, I'm going to have to challenge him again.
And then Lauren, who was in the previous photo, kind of in front and center, she brought a bobblehead of Clay Davis from The Wire. The guy who says shit.
Yep.
And he has, sure enough, a button on his base where you could push it, and he would say shit. And it was super cool, and she wanted me to autograph it, so I did. That was certainly, I mean, I don't know, like this was probably the greatest honor of my life, but then the guy got a tattoo of me as a zombie on his leg.
It's tough to top that.
On one of his appendages, so but you had it there for like 6 days, Lauren.
Right.
Biggest honor of my life.
Yeah,
but that was fun. So when we had a similar size turnout at the Huntsville joint, I feel like if we showed up at a bigger media market, we could. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting more enthused about the whole, 4-city coast-to-coast meetup kind of idea.
Yeah.
I
think it would work out. It's, it's a matter of keeping costs low, which is tough to do.
And we won't have burritos as a draw. It's just us.
Right.
Finding a venue. Could we? In New York City, would there be 100 people willing to pay $10? So we could get a small venue and travel out there and spend the night to do the show. I mean, that's the whole question.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm starting to feel like, if we could get 25 to 30 to show up in Huntsville, Alabama, and Cincinnati, Ohio, surely if we go to LA and Dallas and Chicago and New York, we'd be able to get as many as 3 to 4 times that.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really about, I don't want to lose too much money if we do it. I'm okay with like maybe it costing us a couple $100 or something.
Yeah, that's. I mean, like I said,
I don't want to lose flight and hotel and rental of the venue.
Don't want to lose four-figure money.
Yeah.
Three-figure money we can lose as to prove a concept or not prove a concept, because we lost a decent amount of money on our first meetup was a Breaking Bad series finale party, which we had in Indianapolis. About 20 some people show up, but we went all out on that. We had fucking beer and snacks and rented out a facility, and we lost all the money on that. But I think we could do better now.
Venues are fucking expensive.
Are they?
Venues are brutally expensive if you try to do like a theater style thing. Like with seating and whatnot.
What is like a theater that would hold 200 people? Like, is that like $1,000 for an evening?
I mean, it depends where you are, but I mean, I was looking at like some stuff in LA when we were talking about maybe, or no, it was San Francisco when we were talking about maybe doing a West Coast thing. And the rents I was finding were somewhere around like the rental fees, whatever, were like, I mean, it was easily $1,000.
I wonder if we could find someone that would be like a friend of the show that would be willing to put us up, and we could like split the gate or something. Cut out the middleman.
Yeah, I was actually I don't know. The McElroys have done a bunch of live shows, and they have like a company that represents them.
They're always one step ahead.
They're one step ahead of everybody.
They're at CCEL already.
Yeah,
we don't even have a Roku channel.
Yeah, we're not McElroys, that's for sure. But I was thinking about like maybe we can get with them and see if we could, they could set something up for us, because I don't think they're losing money on that.
Could we get the crowd warmed or set the bar really low on the crowd?
Probably have to ask them about that.
I don't know how comfortable I'd be like showing because I feel like 90% of them to be McElroy brothers fans, and they'd be like, who the fuck are these guys? And
easily, yeah.
And we're killing it, but we're getting booed just because we're not one of the brothers. Their brothers and them.
What we need to do is need to have a brother come on with us. Then they can't boo us.
Yeah. Are you talking about a black man or a McElroy?
But either.
We need a brother. Yeah, because
you're going
to boo this black man? What the hell's wrong with you, San Francisco?
Right.
You're supposed to be some liberal bastion.
Yep.
Not. He's all like hashtag not your shield.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just a matter of figuring all the pricing stuff out and seeing what we need to charge from that, and whether we think enough people are going to show up.
All right. Show and tell mode. Oh, you closed the show and tell a long time ago.
Closed it. It's gone.
What else do we want to talk about? There's a whole thread here, but I was trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about.
Today's the 45th anniversary of The Godfather.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, I read that on IMDb today.
Huh. Last year was it the
must have been the 44th.
No,
it was Godfather 2.
Godfather 3.
3?
Yeah, last Christmas
3,
was Godfather 3, and it was like the 25th maybe, or
something
the 20th,
like that, yeah.
Because anyway, whatever. I'm trying to think of anything else I had to say. So Jack's spring break starts this week, and I'm taking the big thing we're doing is I'm taking him down to Pigeon Forge to do Wonderworks, which is this like science entertainment place. It looks like imagine like a classic museum. Imagine like a classic museum, like a Gothic museum, like a museum you'd see in Batman Arkham City, and it's entirely flipped upside down. Like the whole building looks like a museum that's been picked up and then dropped onto its head, and there's a lot of like forced perspective illusions and stuff, and like science experiments on the inside of it.
Huh.
But my son's like all crazy about science, and he's been bugging me to go to this. So that's gonna be our little father son road trip.
Cool.
I think I'm gonna take him through because you happen to be going to someplace in Tennessee. Was it Tennessee?
Asheville,
North Carolina. Yeah. And I said, you ought to check out Tail of the Dragon. And I just looked, and we're only going to be like an hour drive from Pigeon Forge. I think I'm going to take him because I think it'd be, I think a little kid would find it cool. If you don't know, Tail of the Dragon is this like infamous section of road on the border of Tennessee and North Carolina. And it's famed for having 311 curves in 7 miles. And it's lots of elevation changes and passes through the mountain. The bridge where Harrison Ford jumped off of in The Fugitive is at the mouth of the dragon.
Oh shit.
And then there's like huge reservoirs and stuff at the tail. It's just really beautiful and it's exciting. It's like legit fun to drive, especially if you're on a motorcycle. So I think I'm going to take him up there and through the Cherahole Skyway on the way back through out of town. So
cool.
The other thing I'm trying to do is so next week Destiny goes into what they call the Age of Triumph, which is essentially 4 months of lead up until Destiny 2 in September, and they're resetting all the old raids to new light levels with new challenges and whatnot. And so it's probably going to be the last legit opportunity you'll have to like get a flawless raider, because like some of the older raids you're massively over leveled. So I'm trying to flawlessly solo Crota's End this, and I'm recording each. I've got all the way up to Crota with my Warlock, and I'm filming the whole thing. And if I get it done, I'm gonna release it on YouTube.
If you don't, it's gonna be swept under.
If I don't, it's gonna be swept under the rug. I try because I actually was trucking. I got to Crota in like only 45 minutes, and then I just failed hard on Crota. Like it's really what spawned me into doing this is one of my clan mates, Cluster F. He got to the front page of Reddit soloing this fucker last week, but he was using a hunter who's got all these invisibility tricks. So he's like able to go invis, pop up to where the big boss is, fucking sort him a couple times and get out before like Crota even knows what the hell's going on. I did not have that much, because when you're one guy going through a raid intended for 6 targets, everything in the fucking room, even though you're massively over leveled, it's all super lethal and it's all aimed at you. So I had a hard time, and I'd got Crota like one more sword attempt and he'd be dead, and I died like 3 times that way. It was super fucking frustrating, but I'm gonna be really burning some midnight oil trying to do that this weekend.
Cool.
Because that's the thing. If I can do this without dying, it will be the first and only platinum PlayStation trophy I've ever achieved, because I've got everything else on Destiny unlocked except for Flawless Raider. Yeah. So that's the goal.
What's the percentage on that?
I have no idea. Probably vanishingly small.
Yeah.
Isn't that the platinum thing? Like it's a 1% trophy.
Oh, I don't know what the exact percentage is.
If I get it, I'll brag about it next week and I'll tell you exactly.
Okay.
I'm in the 1.9% of Destiny.
Yeah.
So there you go. Because I'm pretty dead average and everything else. You have any big plans this weekend? Should we get to the thread?
I mean, we're gonna try once again to make our coasters. We've got some time booked on the CNC router.
You got all your kinks worked out with the previous generation of hosts.
Hopefully, we got a couple more bits. Last time it was a real shit show. I think our feeds and speeds are a little too high, so we ended up breaking our tiniest bit, which is the one that was gonna do all the nice tight corners.
How much does a bit cost?
I mean, $10 each.
Okay, so it's not like,
Yeah.
It's not like wrecking a remote-controlled helicopter.
No. I imagine the bigger ones cost a lot more, probably, because
they're a lot sturdier, right?
A lot sturdier, yeah. What you'll end up doing with those probably is just burning your wood or something.
Right.
But yeah, we broke a bit, and so when you put something on the board, you nail it down with brads from this nail gun. And when we were pulling it up, I pulled up all the wood, and then the brads are left there, and I go and I grab the hammer to pull the brads out, but the brads have like the tiniest heads on them.
Right.
And so I go to pull it out, and it just strips the whole fucking thing.
Oh, really?
And now it's wedged in the board. And I went and I talked to the guy who runs the place, and he's like, oh, yeah, that happens all the time. I just got to drill it out. But it didn't seem like a big deal, but I was like, man, that sucks.
I would think because when I pull brads, if I can get their heads to stick out, it sounds like you got that. I get grab them with the needle nose.
Man,
pliers.
I tried that.
Really?
Yeah.
They're just in there.
Well,
huh?
So I had needle nose pliers that were like just metal handles, like bare metal handles. So when I squeezed it, it was like killing my hands, and I couldn't squeeze it hard enough. Maybe if I had like plastic or rubber lined.
All right.
But yeah, we're gonna try again this weekend. We've got new bits. We think we've got a better pattern, because the problem before was we were cutting them in the wrong order in the outline. We cut the outline and then made the whole thing shake, and so it cut weird. But we've got it all sorted out. We just need to make sure we're going at the right speed, so the right RPM and also the right feed speed.
Right, so you don't snap it up.
You don't snap it.
So if you're nailing these things down, are you actually then cutting the pieces that you nailed off in the final assembly, or is it just you're just going to fill the holes with wood putty, or?
No. So you do you do like the engraving cuts, and then you go back and you do the outline cut, and then there are little tabs that hold the thing into the larger piece of wood.
Gotcha.
And then you take the whole piece of wood off, and then you cut the tabs, and then you go sand the tabs off.
Okay, so you're just cutting the parts that have the holes in them off.
Cutting the parts that have the holes in them. Yes, yes,
right.
The outside, right.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I also bought some wood to try and build a chest. Like a desktop, kind of like 1 foot by 9 inches or something.
What style are you going for? Like a Jesse Pinkman weed stash kind of chest?
No, that's all polished and fancy.
And, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna oil it.
I'm gonna oil it and inlay pearl.
No, I'm going for like a steamer trunk type of thing.
Okay.
Just on a desktop.
Do you have anything is inspired by a game or inspired by a picture you saw on Nat Geo, or you just?
I mean, I took a look at a bunch of different steamer trunks online. Kind of said, oh, this is the style that I like, and then I just kind of sketched out on graph paper what I was going for. And I'm going to try and build that. But I can't use the table saw, so it's going to be damn near impossible.
Why can't you use the table saw?
You have to take the class.
Oh.
So that's the dimensioning lumber class, which I have to take for that, the planer, and the jointer, or the joiner. And it's not that I can't just sit down and figure out how to use it. It's like I'm not allowed to use it.
Right. So are you going to take the class first, or are you just going to try to improvise?
I'm hoping. So I think I can use the panel saw to improvise part of it, and I'll get that done on Saturday. But then I'm hoping someone will be there, and I can just say, hey, can you rip this board for me, like into 1-inch strips or whatever?
Yeah.
Because it shouldn't take long. I mean, turn on the table saw, run it through a couple times.
Right.
I'm hoping someone will be cool enough to do that, but if not, I'll have to take the class. Yeah.
I hear those makers are all assholes.
Yeah, like Adam Savage is any indication.
They don't like to share or teach or anything.
Right.
Probably the biggest thing is
that's completely untrue.
I was gonna say, I think the magic is probably it's hard to keep them from taking over your project. You know?
Right. Can you rip this for me? Oh, I come back. I'm gonna go get a soda. I come back and it's Jesse Pinkman's box.
With all the finest of oils.
Right.
Do you have any tweets?
Tweets? Oh,
I don't want to cut you off.
Tweets. Tweeter.com.
Well, while you're calling that up, Fern has a question for you.
For me?
It says, because last lunch you mentioned a possible solo gym lunch. Jim, can I suggest starting a thread after this for club members to put in music requests for you to play on your guitar for that lunch? You can review the list and pick the ones that you like. A Jim Jones power guitar lunch would be sweet. Jonestown Jams, bringing it back.
Right.
He would like for you to do AC/DC's Thunderstruck intro on your acoustic guitar. Acoustic Thunderstruck.
I'm not really an exhibitionist type of guitar player.
Is there anything you're an exhibitionist type of?
No.
Burrito eater?
No. Yeah.
I was gonna say you had no compunction about tearing into a burrito this weekend.
I would do some mukbang, sure.
Mukbang?
Maybe I'll turn it into a mukbang.
A mukbang.
I'm more comfortable turning it into a mukbang than I am a guitar jam.
I think you could pull it off.
I think so. I don't really play guitar in front of people very much. Maybe I'll ask my brother to come in and play some piano for you.
Maybe he can ghost play for you. Like he'll be in the next room and you just like pretending.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you're just essentially air guitaring it. You got a tweet?
I sure do. I want to make sure it's not from today. How about Biased Files asks, do you two like fishing? Any stories? Are you a fisher? I've been fishing once.
Yeah, I haven't gone. I just like fishing from the bank, and I also like fly fishing because fishing from the bank is just being lazy. It's essentially drinking beer, and if a fish comes and bites, great. If not, then whatever.
Right.
Fly fishing, there's a little bit of strategy to it. You know, you have that little. If you don't know, it's you have 30 or 40 feet of nylon line with another couple feet of very thin invisible line with a realistic fly kind of thing, and you're constantly casting that onto the water, and your aim is to have that fly smack the water in such a way that it's like a real fly, and you're hoping to get a bass to just kind of instinctively snap on it, and you can usually see the fish. And you can get like you can see like when it's you can see if you're doing it good or bad based on how the fish naturally act. Like if you're scaring them, if they're bored, if they look like they're interested but your technique sucks. Like there's like and it's exciting. It's like a cat and mouse game you're playing with the fish.
Yeah, I've seen. Those tend to be like the fishing shows that you see on TV, right?
Right. Well, I mean, it's either guys in a bass boat and they're doing trawling or something. But yeah. The
like
whole like sitting on the bank of a pond is not.
Yeah, it's not the most.
That would be my type of fishing show.
Yeah.
Here's another night crawler. I'm gonna drown. Because I didn't get up early enough to get to where the fish are biting apparently, so I'm just gonna drown worms for a couple hours and then take off.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I want to take my son sailing a lot, and one of the perks I was thinking is like doing some fishing from getting a lightweight anchor and like anchoring someplace and doing some fishing just to see if we catch anything. Because he hasn't really been fishing. He's 10 years old, and I think he's only been fishing once or twice. And I still have all these poles and shit that I've had in storage for years and years now. So I don't know. It's fun, but I don't take it seriously. I'm a catch and release guy. It always bums me out if I accidentally kill a fish.
Okay. Yeah.
Like if you let it, like if
Do you
I
eat
consider
it if you accidentally kill it.
No, because I'm not gonna fucking gut and clean a fish just because I killed it.
I think you probably eat it raw. Just chow down.
It's always funny because like if you're the type of fishing I do, like you mostly around ponds, it's like there's a little. I guess in a big river or a lake, it's like the fish kind of swallowed a hook, but I think I got it out okay, and there you go, little buddy, you'll be fine. In like a pond, like 10 minutes later, this fish just floats to the top. We're like, oh yeah, I fucked that one up for sure. But yeah, I always feel bad. It's like a technique, like you waited too long to set the hook. Can't let him swallow it, and it rips him up. So there you go.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to swallow any hooks.
Yeah, and Jack's kind of squeamish that way too. If he, I don't know what he would do if he thought he killed a fish. It probably wouldn't be good.
Yep,
that's good for you. Gotta accidentally kill something.
Accidentally
come to grips with your place on top of the food chain. Happening all the time.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, Neil Gafilicalis. Neil, it's really FGGKS. I think he just gave up and started mashing his keyboard. Have either of you seen the HBO show In Treatment starring Gabriel Byrne, Satan the Devil himself? It ran for 3 seasons from 2008 to 2010. It shows a therapist session with his clients and with his own therapist. I guess he's curious based on my statements about saying positive things about therapy on Legion and how very rarely therapy is shown positively. I haven't seen it, and I would be interested in doing so, but 3 seasons is a big ask for going into the busiest season in recent memory of Bald Move. I'm guessing you haven't seen it either.
No, I haven't.
You haven't done any therapy, have you?
So
you wouldn't even have like a jumping entry point onto that.
Yeah, I'm more likely to catch up on the path, honestly.
Oh yeah, I'd be curious to see. The other thing, just apropos of nothing, I've been watching a lot of Netflix comedies because Netflix is going to have a new comedy special come out every week between now and the end of the year. And they've already had
holy shit.
They've already had Amy Schumer, Mike Birbiglia, which I saw both of those in the last week. The first 2 of a 3-hour total of Dave Chappelle concerts, which I thought were amazing, especially the first one. The second one's more like loosey goose, him just rambling. Still funny, but the first one had a really clever structure built around his 4 encounters with O.J. Simpson.
Oh, okay.
And like he meets him first when he's 18
promising.
And he's young and coming, and then I don't want to spoil it, but it's almost like those are chapter points in his stand-up. And it's really funny, as you would imagine from Dave Chappelle. So I've been watching a lot of comedies. The only one I saw that I didn't really like is Noah Trevor's. He's a funny guy, but he's not nearly as funny as he thinks he is.
That's a problem.
And his main shtick seems to be his accent work, and even his stuff that works. Like he's got this one where Nelson Mandela is teaching Barack Obama how to have the first black president voice, which was funny, but it goes on for like 15, 20 minutes, and it's like, I get it, dude. No, I get it. And there was like 4 or 5 times where it was like that. It's like this... He's doing this shtick is he's doing a variety of accents and it fairly well, but he's doing them over the course of like a 10. It just feels like an SNL skit that goes on too long.
I was gonna say, it sounds like Mike Myers.
Also, a little bit of little bit of pandering. Like clearly he's got a liberal audience, but even by that standards, it's like there's a lot of not very clever, just like essentially being like sexism, it sucks. But there's nothing like literally clever or interesting about it. Like, or, vaginas are strong. And I mean, hey, look, I'm the market for that kind of audience. I'm like, okay. All right. So what's fun? Any new or funny or interesting insight about it? No. Okay. Guess we're going to do a vagina accent for 10 minutes.
A vagina accent?
Yeah. But those would be that was the only one I thought was anything less than wholly entertaining.
Sounds like podcasting.
Yeah.
Like more comedians than podcasting almost.
Yeah. But there's going to
not quite.
There's going to be like 40-some comedy specials on Netflix. They spent
It's insane.
$60 million on the Dave Chappelle stuff.
Wow.
Have you seen the kind of money Netflix is throwing around? $100 million for this Martin Scorsese film? $60 million to Brad Pitt for his War Machine film? Like, they're going to be a major fucking movie studio before the end of this year. Or they're spending
Are they releasing them anywhere but Netflix?
I don't think so. And are they eligible for, or I wonder if they'll go to like Cannes or Sundance just so they can get like an Oscar eligibility, but I don't know. It's a super bold strategy because the other interesting thing about this week is that Cinemax said that they had the Nick for 2 years, the Steven Soderbergh joint, and it was really good, and it went off the air, and they're like, well, we're not going to have these particular, crew back, but we might have like the Nick is the character, and we're going to jump forward or back in time to kind of see the Nick throughout the ages. They just announced this week that they decided not to do that, and they're going to go back to kind of like Banshee and Strike Force, or what was that? Strike Back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like action-oriented fare, because they're like, it just like almost broke them, like their budget. And it's so weird because they're the first of like, there's all these channels like Sundance and what is the IFC and USA, and they're all doing these big prestige projects, and there's only so much audience, and like this, like Cinemax is the first one to kind of tapped out and like, you know what, pushing away from the table.
Yeah, I guess they found their wheelhouse.
Yeah,
and they found the edge of the wheelhouse, and they said, no, thank you.
But Nick was a great show, and I guess it was envisioned as an HBO show, but like HBO only does things on Sunday nights, and there's like so many slots, and they're like booked out years in advance. And Steven Soderbergh's like, I don't work that way, man. I got this idea, got a pop, and like, oh, let's try it on the sister show Cinemax, and they just couldn't afford it. So, too bad. Next week.
Yeah, why does HBO only do Sunday nights?
I don't
People
know.
watch TV other than 9 to 10 p.m. on Sunday nights.
Yeah, but I think it's their way of like keeping this prestige and quality. Like they would rather turn down projects than like try to make Tuesday night a thing.
Sure, I get that, but like night is irrelevant at this point. Like, who the fuck cares about what night it's on?
Right.
Like, is it going to be on your streaming platform? That's what people care about. So I could see it if they're like, look, this is as much TV as we can produce, 52 episodes a year. Mm-hmm. That's it if we're going to keep our quality. I understand that. Mm-hmm. But like to say, oh, well, Sunday night is the real time slot. Tuesday night, people just aren't going to watch as much, and we're not going to get the ratings. I
think you're right. I think it's more the first argument where they don't want to be like the Atari and flood the market with stuff. And like, because right now,
I totally get that.
When HBO comes out with new stuff, people watch it. Because like the expectation is going to be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's going to be really funny or really good, and they have very, very, very few like just outright misses, and maybe that's one way they keep the quality artificially high.
Yeah,
like they order all this stuff and they just pick the best stuff, and everything else goes to Cinemax.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It's interesting to see what Netflix is doing because I think they're trying to become that.
Yeah,
and they're doing it really quickly.
Yeah,
I'm shocked. Like last year, they had a few originals, like series wise. They had a couple of like short movies they did. This year, it seems like they're going balls to the wall with it.
And it's ambitious because they're trying to own their own catalog and they not only grow subscribers.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because if they were just like, oh, here's the secondhand TV streaming service.
Right.
or the secondhand movie streaming service.
I mean, I think they're smart because they saw the right,
works,
like CISO is kind of like, you know, trying to buy up all of like NBC Universal stuff, and they're feeling pressure from the bottom. Like, hey, for $4 you can get CISO and have all the Seinfeld and Friends and ER and all that crap.
Right.
So Netflix is like, ugh. It's amazing if you scroll through Netflix, like just how much stuff is Netflix original now. It's crazy.
Yep.
All right.
I think it's smart.
Enough Netflix advertising.
I have no more tweets.
Okay.
0 tweets.
Michelle from California. Just wondering if you have a ladies cut tee in the merch shop at some point in the future. I'd totally rock a bald move logo tee, but I look horrible in a men's cut tee. Thanks. I will look into that because as far as I can tell, it just involves us adding a new, because if you don't know, these are all print on demand. So we don't keep like the stuff in this order shop. We don't keep inventory. We just go in there and take our designs, make sure they'll fit on the shirt, and select which shirts we want them to print to, and then boom. So like I don't really have like, you know, even if we only print one a year, it doesn't really cost us anything to do that. So I look into doing that. Now I think one of the reasons we didn't do that on the old shop is because we had an item limit. And I think the new shop that we just migrated to, because the old one was giving us fits. And there's a lot of problems. Like we had set all this stuff up with American Apparel, and then they went out of business. And then they stopped, like we had all these orders failing because the shirts were no longer in stock or they're being discontinued. And there's just all kinds of shit. And so we moved to this new store, which I think is going to solve a lot of these problems. But
yeah,
bottom line is, yes, I think we can make that happen, Michelle. Dr. Kin asked, there's no lunch for a couple weeks. Starting next week, I'm going to be on spring break. Jim's going to be on spring break. Week after that, I'm on a cruise, and I don't know whether you're going to do a solo or not.
Just jaunting around the world while people are craving lunch.
I'm splashing around in the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do a solo one.
All right.
Haven't decided yet.
Believe in 3 said, I'm thinking of getting a new phone. If I remember recently you bought the Google phone. What are your thoughts on it so far? Been an iPhone user for years now, but want to switch. I mean, if you're an iPhone user, like there's 2 types of iPhone users: the dyed in the wool ones like Jim, and like my wife Cecily's converted from iPhone to Android a few years back and never looked back.
So you're saying there are 2 types of iPhone users: those who use them and those who don't?
Well, I mean, some people use them and they've like grown tired, but they've always used it. I imagine there's probably the same thing in the Android users. There's like people that are never, like me, like I'm never going to look at anything but an Android as long as I keep making Androids. I was the same way with BlackBerry. I didn't move off of BlackBerry until they literally stopped making the phones for a while. But there's other people that are using it because it's the work gave them to it and they never really liked it. And like if you I mean, I don't know, like I can't stand the iPhone interface. It feels very clunky and limiting to me. And I like the Android, but then again, like I think Android's probably a lot more non-standard and there's, you know, some more woolly stuff in the margins, but the Pixel's a good phone. I think it's my favorite phone I've ever had so far, and it kind of works. And I also can put the crucial thing is I've decided I'm never buying a locked phone ever again, because my last one, the HTC One M8, was a great phone, but I only got about 18 months out of it because they keep bloating it with like the shit that I couldn't remove, and every successive upgrade to Android made it slower and slower, and I couldn't opt out. So when where the phone I had before, which I think was the M7, like I kept that for over 2 years because I just 1 year I've put cyanogen mod on it, ran it like bone stock, and it flew. Like it was. In fact, my son still uses a fast phone. So that's the thing. Like I want to make sure it was completely unlocked, and the Pixel, like they really don't give a shit what you do with it.
Yeah.
So I'm still running a stock because it comes with stock Android. I'm still running stock Android and. Not having all that Verizon crap and the NFL mobile channel and fucking Slacker radio and all this other shit that just is gunking up my phone. It's all off there now.
Yeah, I mean that's a good thing about, you know, if you're with the iPhone, they don't allow that shit on their phones. Like Verizon doesn't put their fucking apps and bloatware and shit on the iOS devices. So like, you know, you can just go really to any provider, not worry about whether it's locked or not. And then, you know, when you go to sell it later on, you can either you can have them unlock it for you because they're legally obliged to, or you can just sell it to someone else who's on that network.
Right.
It's not a big deal. And I've had mine for Now it's over 2 years. I just went out of contract with them on my plan, and I actually somehow reduced my cost by $20. Like, they charge a $40 per line fee if you're under contract.
It's probably because you were still paying off your phone, right?
Right, and then a $20. See, I would think it was the exact other way around, except for the phone.
Right.
I was paying for it, but honestly, I don't know. I don't know why I would do that in the future. Although you're only paying $480 for the phone if you do it that way. That's not true, actually, because I think you pay $200 up front.
Right.
That's how that goes.
It seems
So
like
it's
you're always
$680.
getting fucked a little bit if you go the contract route.
Right.
Whereas now, like, I'm not.
It used to be I paid nothing for my phone, and I got my contract, which would have been the exact
right?
same cost anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like about 3 or
So it
4
was
years
stupid not
ago,
to.
once phones started to be like $800, $900 coming out, like there was no more free phone unless
Right.
you wanted to get the shit, generic.
Oh, sure, you can still get a free iPhone, but it's like an iPhone 4 or
Right.
something. So
Right.
who's going to do that?
You can get some shitty 3-year-old LG, no brand, no name Android.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Or just a smartphone.
But now, like,
What is it? It's a smartphone.
right.
It's black and it's shiny and it's a rectangle. What do you want? And it's free.
Do you remember when was it HP had the
Sounds like something they do.
shit? What was it? There was like a third brand
Smartphone
that was trying to
printer scanner.
That was trying to enter the market.
It was the size of a milk crate,
and
and
it
would
never
fit in,
fucking
and
worked.
the battery lasts for 15 minutes. It just
And it said it had Wi-Fi, but it always powered down. It would never power back up. Like,
and it is like you'd always get the dreaded black cartridge needs to be replaced.
Yep.
And then what the hell? Just print the CM what? I don't know. Making shit up now.
I don't know. There was some other entrant
Yeah.
into the market that just never caught on. Looked
Yeah.
really cool, but never caught
Well,
on.
Microsoft Windows phones the same way.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean, Windows, like, by all accounts, made really great phones. They're really integrated well to Microsoft's ecosystem, but
Right.
Microsoft ecosystem never took off, and nobody really liked used the phones. Like, there was one diehard at my old shop, Centric Consulting, that was all about, he had the Surface and he had the Windows
Everybody
10
knows,
phone,
yeah,
and,
one person
and
with
he's
it.
like, oh, it's the best, and like, oh, look at this, I can play my Xbox from my own, and everybody's like, yeah.
That's cool, but
Yeah, I'm still keeping, like, what are your how are your apps, man? And
Yeah,
still to this day,
yeah.
the iPhone, like, I think the biggest change is I'm pretty sure you can get an app for about everything that you would want to do in a phone, but they're going to
Yeah.
be different. And also, it seems like Apple still has the advantage when it comes to, like, gaming. Like, there's always like board game things coming out for app that don't come out for Android, and
Yeah.
it takes Android longer to get some stuff. And
it's rare when I see an app that I can't get on the iOS device that you could get on Android. It happens, but
and
it's rare.
I'm not a big Android gamer.
Yeah.
Like, usually when I get a new phone, there'll be a game or two that I try for a month or two, and then I just read the internet or Kindle.
Yeah.
So, let's see let's keep this a little meta conversation. Oh, Nate Knoll said, if you could have a bald lunch with Bryan Cranston, John Hamm, or Peter Dinklage, but they have to stay in character the whole time, who would you choose?
So essentially, Walter White, Don Draper, or Tyrion Lannister.
I want Don Draper, because I'm assuming he's bringing his bar.
Well, so you can go with Tyrion Lannister and get the wine.
True, the
and
Dornish wine.
I
yeah.
bet some pretty fun company too. Like the conversations you could probably have with Tyrion Lannister.
Plus, he knows a lot.
Right.
But he knows a lot about a world that doesn't exist in a time
That's
that,
true.
like, I
Yeah.
arguably know more than Tyrion Lannister. Can you split the atom, Tyrion?
Right.
I can't, but I can tell you how.
What's the setting of this, I guess? Like, are we
Well-
in their world? Like, are we back in the 50s and 60s with Don Draper? Or are we...
See, I always figured it'd be literally like they walk in that door in the
Right.
studio. That's
Yeah.
the only thing that changed. So, I'm
So if that's the
assuming-
case, I think you're right. Like, Don Draper would be able to have a more interesting conversation
Yeah.
because he lives in the real world. Walter White, no way.
No, Walt is
I don't
an
wanna have-
asshole.
yeah.
And he's like, even when he's being good, he's this passive-aggressive kind of know-it-all.
And you'd have to take the wine away from him.
Like, I would love to go to a chemistry class that Walt taught,
There
because he
you
seemed
go.
like, and especially if it was like a small like a STEM program that was all like kids that are there to learn, and they're not like going to be fucking macking on their girlfriends and dragging their desks around and starting shit.
Right.
Like, no one the harshest buzz, and he can just be like fucking Mr. Wizard.
Uh-huh.
Like Walt, pre-cancer Walt doing like a Mr. Wizard New Mexico cable access show, I'm all in.
Gray Matter Walt
Gray Matter era Walt, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Walt could have been the best Bill Nye the Science Guy since Bill Nye.
Fuck yeah.
But he got cancer
and then he got meth.
Started stuffing kids in barrels rather than elevating their minds.
Yep. I think I'd go with Tyrion though. He'd be the most fun.
Tyrion, I got the drape.
Okay.
Wall to walls, carpet and drapes in this office.
Mm-hmm.
Neil. Oh wait, more meta conversation.
Would Pod be around? Could I talk to Pod as well?
You wanting some tips?
I just want to hang out.
Just
well, yeah, sure. he could instruct me on a few things, but yeah, I don't know.
Because Pod's, clearly you're building towards some joke, but he's not super interesting.
No, he's not super interesting. He'd be good background for the whole thing, like him coming in and pouring the wine. You just give me a chuckle.
Brienne would be terrible table company too. She's just really obtuse.
Yeah, she's
like
just
no fun at all.
Yeah, super focused on her mission.
Yeah, if I wanted someone to find my son lost in the Seven Kingdoms, and Brienne's my woman. But if I want someone,
unless you wanted to actually bring them back.
Hey, she actually found one of them.
All right, well, I guess she found both of them.
Yeah, well, we're spoiling Game of Thrones now. Let's
oh no.
Joshua Heather from Omaha said both are a long way off, but are you looking forward to Episode 8 or the Han Solo prequel more?
Oh, Star Wars. Which one am I looking to more?
I kind of want to say Episode 8, but on the other hand, the guy they got playing Han Solo is pretty good, and Donald Glover, as Lando is fucking inspired.
That's the best draw for all of them. But yeah, I mean, Episode 8 for sure is like the one that I'm more anticipating. I think,
and not for nothing, how are they going to handle Carrie Fisher being gone?
That's a good question.
Like, there was just a debate I was reading today about whether they should CGI her or recast her, and people were like fucking losing their mind about the idea of recasting her. And I'm like, I don't see that as disrespectful at all. Like, she died.
Right.
It'd be one thing if they're like, oh, she's too fat and old to play Princess Leia. Bring in the hot 50, bring in the girl from Parenthood or whatever.
Or what's her name from House of Cards? Bring in Robin Wright.
Right, bring in Robin. So, but she died, and I feel like the CGI is almost more disrespectful.
Oh, you think so?
I mean, did anyone...
is it disrespectful to Grand Moff Tarkin to Peter Cushing?
I kind of argued that. Yeah, I didn't like that. I would rather see them recast someone with good makeup and that's playing the character. Like,
I don't really care. I don't think either is disrespectful. If you can make it convincing, go for the CGI. I don't care.
When they recast the Oracle in the Matrix, no one lost her mind. Now, I don't think the new Oracle was as good. Mm-hmm. They recast Dumbledore when Richard Harris died. I actually prefer the Michael Gamble, is that his name? I actually prefer the new Dumbledore. I mean, what if they had been like, oh fuck, I guess we just have to CGI Dumbledore, and you got this Dobby looking fuck and a long beard. Like, I don't know. I'm all for recasting Carrie Fisher. Find another that has the right kind of gravitas and feistiness of the Princess Leia character. Betty White.
I think you
bring out Betty White. I would love to see Betty White in the general costume. That would be awesome. I'm trying to think of who would be a really good like stand-in for Princess Leia.
Margot Martindale. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I can see that. That's
maybe so.
That's certainly a galactic visage to take seriously.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yep. She's giving you a glass of blue milk and saying it was in the glass the whole time.
I think they should get a body double and CG the face on.
Of Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, the worst of both worlds.
Add posthumous insult to injury, but having the slave Leia body double.
Oh god.
Yeah.
It's just Leia in the slave costume the whole time.
That's disrespecting the memory of Carrie Fisher.
That is.
Let's see here. Lynn's 016. What are you guys' current favorite board games? I've been looking for some new board games to play. I've currently been playing Istanbul, Ticket to Ride, Secret Hitler, and Codenames, and all have been great. I've got to play Istanbul a couple weeks ago, and I still love that game so much. It's so fun. I finally got to win a game too.
Ticket to Ride is great.
Splendor.
all the ones you mentioned are good.
Splendor is really good if you're wanting a lightweight, like it's just a pure building an engine strategy. Like you're building something to get you more of that something until you race to the end of the game. And I think that's
was that the jewel based one? Yeah, that one was really good.
The inexplicable ninja jewel thing. But yeah, Istanbul is probably my favorite game, and I'm hoping to play another round this weekend.
That Star Wars Rebellion game we talked about, that's real good.
Yep. If you haven't played Agricola, Cecily and I played Agricola a lot, and the 2-player variant is really fun to play on that as well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's been.
I mean, Carcassone's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a oldie. I'm trying to think of something new that people don't know about. Because I befriended this guy named Adam who works in the game industry, and he invited us over to his house a couple weeks ago. And he's got this room that's like twice the size of our office, and there's Calyx shelves running down both sides, the long sides, and they're just on one side is the games that he and his wife have both played, and the other game side, half of it is games only he's played, and there's another whole half that's games that he hasn't played yet. So it's just fucking insane. Like I'm like, why haven't you posted this to Reddit and got like 1 million karma? Or like a check out my collection post. Like this would put any of them to shame.
Start a YouTube series.
But he does board game art for so he does this professionally, and he's always like
Man, he should totally like Twitch stream his shit. I don't know if he can because of NDA stuff. But
because he went he did this like Pacific Rim tour with his publisher, and they went to like Korea and Japan and Philippines and played all the different local games, and he brought like 20 games that are only available in those countries back, and he had this Pacific Rim gaming night that I couldn't go to because like my schedule was fucked up. But there was like some really cool stuff out of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might request a new one because the other one that I really liked that he brought over is Camel Up or Camel Cup.
Oh, right.
Which really effectively captures the feel of like betting on camel races. Like minute to minute and who's up and like proposition bets, and it's all. And in fact, we thought about having, and it supports like 8 players. We thought about actually having like a big party where we play for like real money, like low stakes, but we play for real money. That might be fun. I don't know. Maybe that some of those suggestions will help you out. Dansbury from Austin wants to know, give us a lowdown on Jim's musical equipment, acoustic, electric, string gauges, favorite brands. When are we going to have a music talk podcast with Jim Jones where he jams away at a stairway? Never, apparently.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lunch here coming up real soon. My music equipment. So I've got an acoustic guitar. It's an Alvarez AD60K. It's Koa brown color. My strings, I use like the elixirs, the polywebs or whatever, the ones with the coating on them. They have a bunch of different coatings, but I think the ones I use are polyweb.
What do the coatings do? I didn't even know.
They preserve the life of the string, and they give it a different sound a little bit. I use the ones that are kind of like give it a deep sort of...
Is it a metal coating or like a plastic coating? Or
yeah, it's some kind of
ceramic?
Polymer. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Polyweb.
Does it change the feel of the strings?
Yeah, it also makes them a lot smoother because I don't play like a ton, so I've lost all my calluses on my fingers.
Right.
So now, like when I go to play raw metal strings, they're brutal. I can hardly play them.
Yeah.
So I like the polyweb coated stuff. Nice and smooth and slick, and you can move around on the frets real easy. I use the light gauge. Like I've got that guitar is a big ass dreadnought, so it's like huge on me. You know, sit with my arm like crooked up trying to get over the top of it. But the light strings kind of mix with the very like resonant deep sound of it pretty well, or at least to my ear. I like it, especially when you get the coating on it because it makes it sound a little bit duller, or it can. And then, you know, getting lighter strings make it sound a little brighter.
You played the classic guitar riff theme for Breaking Bad or Breaking Good podcast?
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe it's the Walking Dead podcast. So, like, if you want to hear what Jim's guitar sounds like, find a really old, early Breaking Good or Walking Dead, maybe, Watching Dead.
Yeah.
Has those on it.
Or look up the Alvarez 8060K online and watch someone actually good play it.
Do you have anything more to say on that?
No, I mean, I have a really shitty electric guitar that I've had forever, but...
What brand is it? Because I got a Chinese.
Yeah,
I have a
it's one of
Chinese
those.
Fender clone. It's I think it's a Samick.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a piece of shit, man. Like I wish I'd spent more money on my first electric guitar because it has terrible fret buzz and it's real frustrating because even if you play correctly, it doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
And that's super frustrating. I wish I'd done more research. I just went to a music store and been like, hey, what should I get? And they fucking steered me towards the Samick for some reason.
Yeah, my brother actually had a couple of really nice guitars. So he had one that was an Ibanez, and it had like a Floyd Rose bridge, the locks, and you like hardly ever have to tune it until your strings die. That one was really nice to play, but then he had a fucking PRS, which is like I can't think of much better guitars. Like yeah, there are some Gibsons and like especially series type stuff where it's autographed and whatnot that are more expensive, but this thing was like $4,000, and it sounded fucking amazing. But I don't think I'm ever going to get one of those.
Spending money on guitar is like
$1,000 probably.
Okay, because I was like, the $4,000 guitar is not 4 times as good as the $1,000 guitar.
Right.
That's why I was like, it's like with the bottle of scotch, like it eventually tops out somewhere.
Yeah.
In the low 3 figures, and it's you're not going to get. You could spend shit tons more, but you're not.
Yeah, you could spend $25,000 on a guitar if you want.
Right.
I won't.
Here's an interesting one. A cock creep. Maybe?
A cock creep, yep.
A cock creep says, a group of my friends and me in Charlotte, North Carolina go on a quote-unquote guys trip to a different city every year. The cornerstone of this trip, I'm not sure if he put guys in quotation marks. I'm not sure if that's because there's like a girl that pals around with them, or like he's like being ironic about the guys. I don't know.
Right.
Cornerstone of this trip is to see a Major League Baseball game every year and eventually visit every ballpark in the country.
Whoa.
Of course, that's just an excuse, and the trip is so much more than that. This year, our big 10-year trip anniversary, we're going to Cincinnati. Now that you've gotten over the shot, keep in mind we have set the following activities. Infield seats at Churchill Downs for nighttime races with food and drink including. Prime seats to a Reds game with all-you-can-eat passes, a private tour of the stadium, and possibly use of the batting cages before the game. Whoa.
Wow.
Tour of the Louisville Slugger facility, which he realizes that's not in Cincinnati, but you're close enough. You should probably do it.
Yep.
We try to set up one other anchor activity each day, leaving plenty of free time to enjoy the rest of the trip. Whenever we go on these trips, I try to engross myself in the local flavor as much as possible. For example, in Boston, I tried clam chowder at every place I went. In Baltimore, it was crab cakes or she crab soup. What is the local thing in Cincinnati I need to try wherever I go? Is it the chili?
Yes.
Also, where do you recommend we go to experience Cincinnati? Where are the cool bars, breweries, restaurants, etc.? Any local beers I need to try? Thanks for the advice any advice you can give.
2 things you got to eat when you're here.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to eat the chili. That's
I
one
don't
of
like
the signature. I don't either. I think it's gross.
It's cinnamon flavored meat water, in my opinion. But
right. But it is a staple of the area.
And Eric and Levi liked it.
They did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I refuse to even go to that with you guys because
you did.
Not interested in the chili. The other thing that I really love is Geta. You got to try Geta while you're here.
Fair point. I was going to try to think because, yes, Geta is...
it's like a German...
Yeah, it tastes a lot like what my granddad used to call head mush, which is where he'd literally boil a pig's head for 3 days and take whatever meat and shit came off of it, mix it with oatmeal, and press it into cakes and serve it with K-Rose syrup.
That's not actually what this is.
No, it's got the same... Because it's essentially like oats and meal and fat and then suet and pressed into patties, and you like fry it up like sausage. There's lots of ways you can...
yeah, I mean, you can get Geta balls, you can get Geta in things, Geta on burgers, just try Geta. I think Geta's really good.
The other thing Cincinnati's kind of famous for is Metwursts.
Well, hold on. If you're looking up Geta, it's Goetta.
Yeah.
It's a little weird to spell.
And the other thing they're kind of famous for is Mets, like Metwursts, which is, I guess this is like the bratwurst is like the big one, and then you got the hot dogs. Mets are in between there.
Huh.
They're like plumper, they're like sausagier hot dogs, but not quite as intimidating as a brat. And you can get those at the ball game. There's a couple famous chili places. Montgomery Inn. There's the original one on Montgomery Road that's kind of closer to where we live, and there's also one on the river. And there's all kinds of like breweries, man. Like what's the Mad City just got a new brewery. or was it Mad River rather?
Mad Tree.
Mad Tree. Jesus Christ, I'm losing my mind. Rheingeist has got a huge facility close to Over the Rhine, and Over the Rhine is the cool spot in Cincinnati. That's where we had the meetup at the barcade. That's lots, like I think for adult fun, there's like a really great wood-fired pizza oven place called Goodfellas, and tons of bars. There's a heavy metal bar called shit, I can't think of it, but it's right there in the main.
I've been to a heavy metal bar in Indiana.
Huh?
I've been to a heavy metal bar in Indiana, but I don't know what that is.
Yeah, like it's called like Diesel something, or but you'll hear it if you're walking down there on a Friday or Saturday night, late night. But OTR is great, and you can get to OTR. There's a cable car that connects like OTR to the stadium and downtown area. So it's for $2. I think you can ride the damn thing all day. So, and that's, if you're just coming for a weekend, that's already a pretty full trip. You can also, if you guys want to fuck around and like spend a whole day, like there's always Kings Island,
right?
Which is, other than maybe Cedar Park, the best roller coaster place in the whole world, or in the North America anyway. And they got a brand new roller coaster this year too. Yeah, a wooden one. They fucking made a wooden roller coaster in 2017.
I mean,
because the last one went so well.
The Son of Beast.
Son of Beast. Yeah. Let's try to make a hyper coaster out of wood with a loop. Oh, it killed people? I'll take the loop out. Oh, it paralyzed a guy? All right, shut it down. Like, it's terrible. It's the worst roller coaster I've ever ridden, and I've ridden a lot of shitty wooden roller coasters, man.
Yeah, the Beast is maybe the best.
That's the thing. Like, if you've got the best wooden roller coaster in the fucking world, why would you waste money building another fucking wooden roller coaster?
I don't know.
Like, go big. If it's not the biggest and best, then why are you building it? I don't get it. Like, we'll make the 20th best wooden roller coaster in 2017. That'll bring
like
crowds.
Until you're number 2, I guess you can coast a little, right?
Yeah.
Like, let the other parks fuck around with how to make a better wooden coaster.
I just don't think the Beast will ever be top, because no one's going to build like a fucking 5-minute long, 3-mile, however insane much lumber it uses in this day and age. The guy that designed the Beast is dead. It was his magnum opus.
The Beast killed him.
Beast, yeah.
He wrote it. The first time he wrote it,
he wrote it with no brakes, and it killed him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I would recommend. And to get full effect, ride the Beast at night. Anything else? What else?
That's it. I mean, I have some restaurant recommendations, but
yeah,
I mean they're all, I don't know, whatever. Cincinnati isn't necessarily known for anything else other than those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that will give you a pretty cool. Pretty cool primer on the place. As far as cool bars, like I don't have any great bar recommendations. Hit up the Bramble Patch. It's 2 blocks down from my house. I'll meet you over there for a pint.
Which one is that? Is that the first one we went to that night? Okay. The second one we went to is shit.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah. There's like 4 bars within walking distance, and I've been to all of them now, and Bramble Patch is by far the best. So, except for Max Pizza, it's got a cheaper bar. Like it's got like $3 drink off the middle shelf, and the middle shelf includes like it goes all the way up to like
Makers.
I got Maker's Mark, $3 for a nice healthy pour.
Yeah,
like it's like a shot. It's like a tumbler. It's like Don Draper pour. I think that's lunch. We got to go. We got a commission podcast to finish and another one to watch hopefully before this day's up. And when does Riverdale come back? Next week?
I think so. Yeah.
We will. So for Har Har Rah Rah Riverdale, we will be a day. We'll be a day late and $1 short. We'll be getting that out Monday because of the spring break stuff. Right?
To Tuesday?
I thought it was
Monday. Because we got Walking Dead Monday and the movie Monday. Because we got to do Ghost in the Shell as well.
Shit. Yeah, we got to watch Ghost in the Shell.
So I think it's going to be out Tuesday.
Okay.
But we'll have Walking Dead on Monday. We'll have still the live watch on Sunday night. Mm-hmm. And then Monday night, we're going to be doing a Ghost in the Shell podcast.
Gotcha. All right. So unless Jim does a solo, we're no lunches for the next 2 weeks. And we will, but we also, we got another video game. We got the last chapter, I think, of the Michonne saga in the can that we'll be releasing sometime between now and the end of The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. And that's it. We will see you guys later. Until then, I'm Aaron. Why are we doing this? It's lunch. Goodbye, people. Have a great weekend.
See ya.